Welcome to the Visions of BVA podcast. In today's episode, we talk with Michelle Mendes about their innovative assistive technology, including the MyEye Pro device. Discover how these tools are empowering visually impaired individuals. So without further ado, let's dive in.
So my name is Michelle Mendes. I am the Director of Sales for OrCam, and I have been with OrCam for about 5.5 years now.
No, thank you, Michelle. So I wonder the story, the story behind OrCam and its creation and its mission. Can you maybe cover that a little bit?
Yeah, I'm happy because it's an interesting story. So OrCam was founded in 2010 by two gentlemen who were the founders of a company that's called MyEye. And basically, they have a big influence into autonomous driving. So very much the technology you see in your cars now, like when you go to change lanes, your car beeps to let you know that there's somebody there. They were in the forefront of that technology. They sold that company to Intel, and they decided to start a passion project. So that passion product is OrCam. And so we are based in Jerusalem, Israel. And the concept of the device was to develop something that didn't have to do with vision. You know, all the devices really at the time that existed enhanced your vision or tried to enhance vision. But for people where magnification no longer worked, there really weren't a lot of options. So like I say, the company was founded in 2010. One of our founders had a relative that was losing her vision and magnification didn't work. So that's kind of where, the concept began. So in 2015, we actually came to market with the first version of the device, which maybe that's, the device that you used. It had a battery pack. It was tethered, to glasses. Since then, we've evolved. We're like on the fourth generation of the device. But the concept between our devices is basically it can read from any surface or most flat surfaces. It takes a picture of text and converts it to audio. So it really provides you portability on the go. You don't have to be stationary. You're not locked to a table. If it's a beautiful day, you can take your devices outside. You can read in a restaurant. Portability is a very big factor when it comes to our devices. That's kind of the gist of how we got formed and the concept behind why we were formed.
I really appreciate that, Michelle. Thank you so much. I know you guys have, I think, a number of products from my research. I was wondering is the latest MyEye 3 Pro? Is that one of the latest products?
Yes. That launched this year. So the MyEye 3 Pro, it's a wearable device. So basically, it is an expanded concept of our original, MyEye device. So if you're familiar with the MyEye, what it is it's a wearable device. It magnetizes to, the leg of the glasses, and it's very multifunctional. So it's small. It's about the size of your pinky, or some people say like a thumb drive, and it magnetically attaches to the leg of your glasses. It can work via gesture. So for example, if I want to read a piece of mail, I point my finger, it activates the device and it begins to read to me. So that's its main and primary function. That's what we're known for doing, is for reading. But it also has the capability of recognizing different types of currency. So it recognizes American dollars, the Canadian dollar, a number of European currencies. It also does facial recognition, so you can program up to 100 faces of your friends and loved ones in their device. Just takes a few seconds to do. So when they approach you, it says their name, so you know who's around you. The device also has a database of over 2 million barcodes embedded in our device. So if you're somebody who uses barcodes to identify products, you can, it'll give you a description of what the item is. So for example, if I was holding Campbell's soup, I get a lot of people tell me things in their pantry, they look and feel the same. How do I know what it is I'm holding in my hand? So if it were to read the barcode, it would tell you Campbell's chicken noodle, 12 ounces. So it gives you, a description of what it is that you're holding in your hand. We also have a feature that's called Smart Reading. And that feature is you can enter into this mode and you can ask the device, certain questions like what's the amount on my bill, what's the due date, what's the phone number. And all these features that I've mentioned to you now, they work offline. And so they don't need any type of Wi-Fi connectivity. So if you're flying in a plane, you want to read a book, no worries. You don't need to be connected, to Wi-Fi to do it. Or sometimes we get somewhere where there's just not a good Wi-Fi signal. What do? Well, the OrCam can function. All those features are available to you with no Wi-Fi connectivity. So that's really the MyEye that people know. Now, the 3 that we've introduced, the added feature to that device is what we're calling an AI assistant. So that portion of the device does need Wi-Fi connectivity. So basically, you can connect your device to your computer. You can take a picture of what you want to read. So you can imagine that you get a bill. You can take a picture of it. It would magnify onto your screen. If you're someone that magnification works, you can enlarge the font, change the color contrast, to be able to visibly see the text. However, if magnification doesn't work for you, or if you're, totally blind, we have what's called the AI assistant. So you can still take a picture of that document and now interact with that document. So I could take a picture. Let's say I don't even know what the bill is. It could be my energy bill. And I can say, what is, my amount? It will tell me the amount. I live in Tampa, Florida. I could now ask, what is the average bill in Tampa, Florida? What is the weather like today, in Tampa, Florida? So it's true AI. I can expand beyond the document that I'm looking at and ask questions. So that's what the MyEye 3 is. It's everything most people know about the MyEye plus the AI assistant.
I appreciate all that information. And I understand you've probably shared this many times. I wish I would have had an angle or some other kind of angle, because I think you've been involved too on the Vet Tech series, right, as well?
Absolutely, yeah. We've been doing the Vet Tech calls for a number of years now. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're a very proud partner of the BVA. So anytime that we get the opportunity to participate, absolutely. We do the Vet Tech calls, the ambassador calls, absolutely.
That's great. It's great. Well, my third question is about the OrCam, I think, Read 3, and I guess who most benefits from the OrCam Read 3 and how does it work?
So, we always say assistive technology is a really personal choice. So a lot of times, let's say maybe you haven't worn glasses for a long time, or you don't like the sensation of wearing glasses, we like to provide an option. So the Read 3 is our handheld option. So it is a larger device that you hold in your hand, still very lightweight, and most people can equate it to like a box cutter, kind of the shape of a box cutter, or maybe a Sharpie pen. Very easy to use. There's just 4 buttons on there. They're nice and tactile. So maybe if you have neuropathy on your fingers, and maybe on the MyEye you can't feel the touch bar, then this might be a better fit for you because of the tactile buttons. What the Read does is it's a point and click solution. Very easy. You hold it in your hand. There's a round circular button that we call our trigger button. You just point at what you want to read and it begins to read. It's that fast. So it reads virtually from all the same, surfaces as the MyEye does. It also reads currencies and it does barcode recognition. So it does a few things less, than the MyEye, but the same concept of reading and portability on the go. It also has that smart reading feature, and it also has the capability of, once again, connecting it via cable, connecting it via Wi-Fi. You can connect it to your laptop. You can magnify onto a screen, and you can also use that AI assistant. So that is the Read 3 device.
Awesome. What new advancements in OrCam technology or products are really beneficial or useful to veterans, blind veterans, and just blind individuals in general? Is there any kind of new? I think you mentioned AI as one of the things you guys are focusing on, of course.
The AI we launched with AI. The facial recognition was always part of the AI, but this AI assistant or AI companion, we also refer to it as the cast when we, project on the screen, it's pretty unbelievable. It's a way to access information, on the go, all in one place. And it's intuitive. It's easy to use. Like we say, for most people, if you can use a smartphone, you can use, our devices. Imagine being able to, like, let's say a lot of people don't get their bills mailed to them. They get them electronically. Now with our AI assistant, you're able to upload that bill to the system and ask questions, or you're able to save documents and retrieve those documents and become interactive. And, a lot of people think that the elderly cannot use AI. I tell you, we are working with veterans every day in the field, and they are getting it. We try to make it very, very easy. Everything is a verbal command. You're able to interact with our AI assistant in natural language. There's no specific commands. You can talk to it just like you and I are talking and ask questions just like you would ask questions. So it makes it very simple and very intuitive, to our veterans. And it gives them a lot of independence, you don't have to rely on your neighbor to come over and look at your mail or your bills or your child. You're able to do it yourself on the spot. You're able to go to a restaurant and read your own menu. Like with our devices, you have the capability of looking at a menu. And yes, the device could read the menu from start to finish. But now with the AI, you have the ability to look at the menu. And if you wanted let's say you just wanted appetizers, I could say start from appetizers. Or if I just want chicken, I could say start from chicken, and it would read me just those chicken menus, just the chicken features. I could even ask the device, what's the healthiest item on this menu? So for those who have diabetes and are conscious of, what they're taking, you could even ask, for example, how many calories does fettuccine Alfredo have? So before you order it, you could ask the device and it could give you, let you know, so you could make those better health options. So just off the top, those are some of the highlights that how it can help people in their daily life.
Awesome. You answered one of my questions. I was gonna ask, how does OrCam make sure that the devices are easy to use for all ages and stuff. So it's great. You mentioned a few different things in the sense of verbal, voice recognition as well as other things.
So we're calling it, natural language. You just ask it. Before our devices were very, you had to ask the questions as we programmed them. We've definitely gotten away from that. We've introduced features called Hey OrCam. So everybody knows about Hey Siri, Hey Alexa. So once again, we tried to make it relatable. So we have Hey OrCam. You could ask the device, like, Hey OrCam, tell the time, tell the date. But once again, if you're using our AI assistant, you could ask the question just like the way you're asking me questions, very simple like that in your own natural language. It makes it much easier for people not having to remember a specific command.
Yeah, the preparatory command can cause problems for people.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes I forget myself, right? Too many commands, I forget myself.
Of course. Are there any new products or updates that we should be excited about or looking forward to, or something that you can share with us, or maybe something that's already just been recently released?
So there is something in the works, and it's in beta, but it hopefully, will come soon. But it's like a what's in front of me feature. So you're going to be able to, wear the device, go outside, or even if you're in your home. And I said, what's in front of me? It would say a table, 4 chairs, a window to the left. I could go outside in my garden and say, what color are the flowers? And it would say white, red. So it's giving you a nice description of your surroundings. It's not a GPS. It's not going to tell you 100 feet, to your left. That's not what, we're trying to do, but it is trying to give you a generalized description of things that are around you so you can familiarize yourself. So you can imagine going into a hotel room and you don't know where things are, right? You could say what's in front of me and it would help you acclimate, to your surroundings. So that is something that is on the horizon that's being worked on that we're very excited about. It's one of the questions that I get asked most about, like, when is this feature coming? We need this feature. People are very excited about it. And you're going to be able to basically connect if you want to be portable, you're going to be able to connect your device via Bluetooth to your phone. And that's the way we hope it's going to work.
Awesome. Could you share a story maybe about someone's life or a customer's life that was transformed maybe by an OrCam product? Do you have any kind of stories like that?
So I have many stories, but when you're new, and I was new to the blindness community. I didn't know a lot of, blind people. So it was all new to me. So of course the story forever sticks with me. One of the VAs here in Florida had asked me to go meet with a gentleman, and they had warned me. He was a grumpy guy. He was a tough one. And I said, okay, no problem. But they wanted me to go and assess him and see if this was possibly a good fit, but not to have high expectations because he didn't like anything. Nothing was good for him. So I met with a gentleman, and sure enough, he was a tough one. He was a Vietnam vet, and he was the primary caregiver for his wife who had Alzheimer's. And his children didn't live nearby. So he was very lonely. He had this large TV, probably the largest TV I had ever seen up on the wall. And even that, he couldn't see anymore. So I start going through my presentation and showing him, what the device can do. And he wasn't saying anything. And I'm like, okay, maybe this isn't the right, fit for him. And he goes, hold on 1 minute. I'm going to come back. And he comes back. And this was a rough and tough Vietnam vet. I mean, this is not what I was expecting. And he comes back and he has a paperback book, and he hands it to me. And it was a series of love letters and poems that he had written to his wife while he was in Vietnam. And he said that what he wanted to do was to be able to read these to her. Even though he had Alzheimer's, he wanted to be able to read these stories and poems that he had written to her before. So he put on the OrCam, and sure enough, it started to read all the poems. And this gentleman began to sob. He's like, I haven't been able to read, and I don't remember the exact time, if it's 10 or 15 years, he really hadn't been able to read. And he's like, this is what I want. I want to be able to read these to my wife. And sure enough, it read all his stories that he had written to her. So that to me is something that I will never forget. I think it's, a beautiful story that's all he wanted. He wanted the time he had left with his wife to be able to relive happier times and read those stories to her. I think it's a beautiful memory for me.
That's remarkable. It is wonderful how technology can touch us. And it's also wild how it can drive us nuts too. but it is amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
Sure. Yeah, it sticks with me. It's a story I share often. It's not what you expected of this older guy with all his marine tattoos on his arm. You weren't expecting that sensitivity chip from him, right? It's not at all what I expected. So it was amazing. I brought a tear to my eye for sure.
So what kind of support does OrCam provide to new users to help them adapt or understand the devices?
Sure. So OrCam works, many different ways. We sell direct to our end users. We also work with partners that are certified trainers. So they, know our devices, very well. So the idea is that when you receive a device, it comes with that personalized training, and support. So for example, I'll tell you like my experience and how we work here in Florida. For example, with the VA, somebody gets a device, they're fully trained, and we go back to them and we continue to retrain them, till they feel, secure with our devices. We provide large print instructions for those that can benefit. On our website, there is videos and tutorials. So sometimes, you may have been trained, but maybe you didn't use a feature, for a little bit of time. So you can go and get a quick refresh, right? A quick refresh and remember on how to use something. But we know that, our device, there is a learning curve. There is a learning curve. So we have to continue to support our end users to make sure that they're successful and that they feel comfortable, with our devices. But it does come with one-on-one training. All our partners provide that, and we provide that to the VAs who do not train themselves when we train them direct.
Absolutely. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Absolutely. And you have my contact information. If I can provide any follow-up information that you need, you ever want to see the OrCam, a demo, we're happy to help arrange it.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of Visions of BVA. We hope you enjoyed our discussion and found it insightful. If you like what you heard, please consider subscribing to our podcast and leaving a rating or review on your favorite platform. Your feedback helps us reach more listeners and improve our show. Don't forget to follow us on social media for updates and behind-the-scenes content. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We'd love to hear your thoughts and suggestions for future episodes. Stay connected, stay informed, and we'll see you next time on Visions of BVA. This is Steve Baskus, signing off. You're listening to a BVA production.